Hey everyone, in this video we're going to continue working on our CO2 car and we're going to be trying to cut the front view profile. All right, so to start this out, I'm going to be honest, I've experienced a few issues and I think I have a workaround and I think it's going to work. So here we go. Please follow along and pay attention. So the first thing I want to do is start by selecting the things I did last. It's in my sketch 4. I notice when I turn it on, it shows up there at least. And I want to use the shift key. I'm holding the shift key down to select my other 2 lines. So now at the end of this, I have all my lines blue. And once again, that happened by me selecting and then holding the shift key down and selecting the other 2. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a copy. So I'm going to do a Control-C on my keyboard. And then I'm going to go into my sketch 2. So I'm going to select that, I'm going to right click, and I'm going to actually edit that sketch. All right. Now that I'm in my sketch 2, the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a Control V. All right. And that Control V should drop down or drop in a line that we just had selected. Okay. And then I'm going to hit Finish Sketch. Now, what that has done, it has transferred my little orange box that we made here, this little guideline box, the construction line box, so you can see it in the sketch too, because before, if we started editing the last sketch, you just wouldn't be able to see it. So now we can see the area to avoid in this video. Now, what we want to do here is we want to come in and we want to right click, and honestly, we're just editing that same sketch. So if you've been in that same sketch that we were just in, you can move these guidelines around by selecting them and it's kind of dragging them where they need to go. Apparently I have 2. I might have done that twice in the last thing. You can also delete them if you don't want them there. All right, selecting and deleting should allow it to go away. Now, with that being said, what we want to do is basically draw a line from the back of our car, anywhere from this point up, starting around this area to the front of our car where it ends somewhere in the front portion, that line does. Underneath, we can also have things cut away, but we got to stop and we cannot cut directly underneath the axle hole. So wherever our axle hole is right here, in this area, we cannot cut away. We have to have our line come down and then across the back so we can extrude that portion out. Now, with that being said, lastly, we want to, if you want to cut underneath, you can, once again, can't cut underneath this front axle hole either. So we can have a line starting here, going up and over and finishing somewhere underneath, but we cannot cut away underneath the axle holes. All right, so here we go. To start off, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show the lines things we already know. We have a line tool. All right, I'm going to use that line tool a little bit to just basically click. I can be right on the dotted line and slide over and click. And then I'm getting ready to move into my next mode. My next mode is I'm going to use that 3-point arc to click, and then I'm going to slide down here and click. And I'm going to bend that out a little bit, just to throw a little bit of, I guess, roundedness in towards that front of that, where that car is going in that front direction. If you pull it a little bit further, it'll be a little more rounded. I'm just going for a subtle round piece. All right. Now, with that being said, the next thing I want to do is I want to continue my car by going down with my line. And then back here, I want to click somewhere above my axle hole. All right. Oh, I wasn't making a line, apparently. Line tool, click, and somewhere above my axle hole. All right. Remember here, I can come straight down, but right around this area, I gotta make sure I go around this portion. So I'm gonna come in here, click, and then I'm gonna go back to my arc, and I'm gonna select. Oh, I wasn't making a line again. Whoops. Line. Select from here, going straight down. Remember, we're gonna be about 5 millimeters away from that area. So I want to be somewhere around here. If that's 4, dropping straight down. And then lastly, I'm going to finish with that arc again. And I'm going to start with the arc on top, going straight down, clicking on the bottom of my car, and then just bending this out to kind of throw a little rounded profile on that front surface. Now, I'm going to have mine kind of doing the same thing in the back. Oh, I missed my arc though down here. I can see that I didn't get to the bottom edge of my car. So I'm going to edit undo. Just a classic mistake. And I'm going to finish that arc the correct way by selecting here, selecting on the bottom of my car. I missed that last click, and then bending that out. Now, on the back side, I'm just going to have some straight lines. I'm going to come in on this, kind of do the same thing, come straight down. And remember, you're editing your own car here, so you can kind of have this shape look whatever way you want to. I'm going to hover over this to get the kind of the same point. Slide it straight across. Click. Oh, line. Okay, that up. And then I'm going to end this with like a little arrow on the back side, kind of angled away, kind of like a teardrop shape, flipped horizontally. Clicking, and then clicking down underneath my part. Remember, I can't click directly underneath you because we got to keep that space around. Now you can see the kind of little back area about how my car is going to look. And I'll be honest, it's going to be cut to the front. So a lot of times your line is going to go straight down to the front somehow. I'm having mine kind of right here because I'm going to have one part being, I guess, skinnier than the other part. Now, on the other profile, though, on my front, I'm going to have kind of a similar shape. I'm going to have an arc. Remember, once again, you're drawing your shapes, your arcs. Remember, you can't be underneath, so make sure you come outside of that to start your arc. And then click below and above, if you're trying to do arcs, that is, and bend to the surface. Make sure you're getting the edge there. That's the full length. Now, on the front side of my car, I'm going to have kind of the same thing. I'm going to have a line going from here, straight back, and then underneath, clicking here. Remember, I can't go directly underneath, so I'm going to make sure I'm coming here and just over to the left-hand edge a little bit. And that's my little front surface there. Now, what I'm going to have also in these spots is basically two connecting spots. So I'm going to have a line going from kind of just above the midpoint here on that last line I made. And that line is going to connect to the front. It's going to look kind of similar to a vacuum cleaner. All right? And then on the other side, I want to have the same kind of idea, just below. All right, remember, we don't want to be much skinnier than like 7 millimeters, 5 millimeters, because if you make it much smaller, it's going to end up being too skinny. And I think you can make it parallel by just kind of following. There should be a way to, and going straight below. At the same time, if I give yourself guide points, you can make that line so it's even too. I thought there'd be a way to make that parallel to the last line. I'm sure we can do a call out or constraint. Now I click to drop that. Now, what you can see here is you can see a top side where I have that shape cut out, and then I also have my bottom side shape in the back side shape. All right. You got to make sure that we don't delete anything we can't delete, and we have a contour that runs from the back to the front. And remember, you can cut on the underneath side. You just want to make sure you do that well, with leaving the space underneath our axle holes available. Now, I'm going to finish my sketch because mine is all done. And from here, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use the extrude to make this kind of top portion go away. You can see this is all kind of showing up in different surfaces. Now, under my car, if I plan on having things cut away, I don't want to remove that yet because I'm not quite sure how it works. So I'm going to leave that space alone. I'm going to cut the top. I'm going to cut the back behind and in the front. All right. Anywhere we don't need to have that bottom surface to draw on. Now, with that being said, I'm going to go the extrude, which would be able to allow us to, for these portions right now, I'm getting rid of it all the way, select this surface, and then drag this back until we get to that back side. All right? And that should be -21. All right? And then hit enter. Now, when we do that, it should go all the way away. Now, with that being said, I'm going to have to do mine on the other two surfaces. There's a selection. Oh, sorry. Escape. I don't need to have that selection made. Extrude one more time. Click. Slide that straight back. And the number is -21. Enter. I'm going to leave this little contour right here and this little contour up here in the front to do some some top view edits in our next video. So please leave those around. In the start of our next video, I'll show you how to make this car 3D, meaning add the other side. Thanks for watching. I hope this helps. This is my first time ever making a CO2 car in Fusion. Good luck.